Hey guys, Youngblood back with you for another episode of Captain's Log. This time we're going to be talking about some comparisons in the game, also some just follow-up notes that I've gotten through, PMs and comments that have been left. So let's jump right into it. I want to start out talking about comparing the two airframes that you don't see me using very often, and that would be the Racer and the Dogfight. Most of the time I'm going to be running the hover frame just because I think it's personally the best. My main reason being here is Racer is good in about 3 different situations. It's really good in situations where you're creating a pure interceptor. Maybe you've got external afterburners, you're going just against other air-to-air fighters. Those are situations where it excels. It's also good, it's decent for pod runs. If you just want to strafe a line of tanks and maybe pick up some infantry kills or put some damage down, it's good so you can get in and get out pretty quick without taking a lot of damage. But then again, when you're sticking around, that's when the reward really pays off. The last piece where the Racer is good for me is outrunning air-to-air missiles. If you've got Racer 2 or 3 along with external fuel tanks, you've got a pretty good chance of getting out of there. And those are situations where I think it really kind of excels. Now, the dogfighting airframe is really only good for one situation in my book, and that's just that, dogfighting. You're going to be able to pitch and yaw a little bit better. It makes you a little bit more maneuverable, but what you suffer is you're missing out on things like your vertical thrusters being improved. That actually hinders some of the maneuvers that you're going to be pulling. So overall, I don't really like the dogfight at all. I never use it. I'm either going to use the Racer or the Hover, but the Hover gives you so many benefits. It's really the only option in my mind to actually use. You may have different results, so your mileage may vary a little bit, but for me, and my suggestion to you guys would be using the Hover. One other thing that I forgot to mention, when I switch up my airframes, the hover allows you to land so much easier, but for some reason when I'm actually using the dogfight or the Racer, I can't land for crap. So keep that in mind. If you're using the other ones, you're going to need a slightly slower approach when you come in. Someone in the comment section actually asked me about the fins I have on my Reaver and whether they actually counted towards your hitbox. The fins that are actually here, you can see I'm testing them out, are purely cosmetic. Yes, they make my Reaver look like a hot piece of ass, but at the same time, they do not increase your hitbox. So if you're interested in pimping out your ride, don't worry about it. It's not going to hurt you. Right now, they're only available to premium members, but they should be available to everybody soon, I would think. The last thing I wanted to talk about a little bit was the differences between the aircraft, and I'm not really going to go into a lot of stats here or anything like that. It's more of just my opinions. You've seen me fly the Reaver a lot in this series, and it's because I'm playing NC. Big surprise. But I wanted to talk about some of the other options that you actually had in the game, and the reason for that is because, 1, I want to make sure that I can show this stuff to you guys, but 2, is something I would recommend you do. Create a character and play around with the stock vehicles on the opposing factions. It doesn't cost you anything, but what it gives you in return is a knowledge of the types of maneuvers and the feel of their vehicles, so you know what they're capable of when you're actually fighting them. So for me, I'm trying out the Scythe and the Mosquito. Sorry, I blanked out a little bit there. So my thoughts about these vehicles. Honestly, both of these vehicles are superior to the Reaver in just about every single way. Now this would have been a little bit different pre-patch. The Reaver was able to do some special maneuvers and had some benefits based on the inertia, but since that's been removed, the other 2 vehicles are just far better. The difference is that they both maneuver better than the Reaver does. They're very similar to each other, in fact, as far as, the way they feel and maneuver. Now, the Mosquito feels like it pulls maneuvers faster. The Scythe feels like it pulls maneuvers tighter. Now, what I mean by that is I feel like I can turn around in a really quick motion when I'm in a Mosquito. Like if somebody's on my tail, I can get on them, no problem. It's fast, it's agile, it's great. The difference with the Scythe is it feels like it doesn't feel like it makes the maneuvers as quickly, but it turns on a dime. You could make a rotation, very quickly and in the same spot. It's just a different feel, but the end result in the performance is very similar. Honestly, I think the Mosquito is the best ESF in the game. This thing is sweet. I am jealous as hell. If they gave me an option in this game to, replace my Reaver with a NC. Great, like the NC stole a Mosquito and put it in their arsenal, I want it. This thing's awesome. I'm jealous. It's fast. It's got the smallest hitbox. It maneuvers on a dime. It's quick. I mean, everything about this vehicle is great. So for those of you out there that have already selected TR, you're very lucky. This is a great weapon. Now, ultimately, it comes down to pilot skill. In this clip right here, you can see that all pilots are, and not all pilots, but every faction has this type of pilot. The one that gets so engaged in a dogfight that they just slam into their teammate. So ultimately, the fighters are only as good as the pilot. I fly a Reaver. I don't think it's as good as a Mosquito or a Scythe, but I'm a good pilot, so I feel like I can hang even though I feel my vehicle isn't as good as theirs. They're all similar enough where they're all competitive, but they all have their benefits. And I suggest you guys trying out the different vehicles so you personally know what they're capable of and you know what you can expect when you're fighting them. Alright guys, so those are pretty much my impressions of the different airframes and fighters in the game. Like I said, everybody's different, everybody plays a different way, so I'm sure there's something out there that works for you. It's all about just testing things out and finding what works best. In the interest of full disclosure, my hover airframe is a level 3, my racer and dogfighter are a level 2. Maybe pursuing it up to level 3 would be, change my mind a little bit, but at the same time, what I've seen out of level 2 isn't enough for me to drop the big certs into certing those both up to the top. So play around with it. If you guys have different impressions, leave a comment. Let me know. I'd love to know what works for you. Maybe there's something I haven't considered and I'd like to try it out. If you've tried out the different vehicles and you think maybe the Reaver is the best, please tell me why. I would love to know if I'm wrong or if I need to retest something. I'm pretty certain I feel good about the way I feel about these things right now. So, this weekend I'm hoping to get out the first episode of the Liberator Captain's Log. Other than that, thanks for being a subscriber. If you're not yet, hit subscribe. Leave me comments. Appreciate all that you guys do, and have a good one. I'll talk to you guys this weekend, and take care.